West, I'm going to give a demonstration of how to take a small sample from a population and do some calculations, such as getting a standard error in R. And I'll do this in a couple of ways. All right, suppose this is our population that we want to sample from, and it has 9 things in it. By the way, I'm going to record a couple things. I should say in general in R, there's a couple ways to do things. If you just type a command, any sort of command, and hit return, it shows you the answer. Or if you write a name of variable and hit return, it shows you what's in that variable. If you want to store something, this uses the assignment operator. So it takes the value here, puts it in there, and you don't see anything unless I type it. Then I can see what's in there. It's 6. By the way, if you hate the assignment operator, it turns out it's virtually equivalent to just say equal, just like C if you're a C fan, and then and run it that way. I'm going to use the assignment operator. Why not? Okay, so again, we can store things and name a new variable if we want, or we can just type a calculation and hit return and see the answer. All right. So the simplest way is to not even bother to type in the population. I'll just take a sample. I don't trust myself to take a sample without bias, so I will say from 9 things, I want to take a sample of size 3, and I don't want to replace. Okay, and it says, oh, okay, take the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th value. All right, so I go to the population. I'll say the 3rd is 10, the 4th is 5, and then the 6th is 22. Those are my 3 values. Okay, so I can store those. I'll call them my data, and I'll put those numbers, the values in. There's 10, what were they? 10, 5, and 22. Okay, so that now I've taken a sample from the population. And once you do that, it's just do calculations. By the way, something that makes this really easy is the up key. If I hit the up arrow, it gets back earlier commands, and I can just edit those. So I'll move my cursor over here and do this. Standard deviation, I can get the variance. Remember, if I want to store any of those, like I want to store the standard deviation, I got to give it a name, and then I just do that, and it stores it. See, there it is right there. Okay. So that's how I do calculations. The standard error is a little trickier. I'm going to do it in 2 parts. I'm going to compute, you know what, to make life easy, I'm going to write down what capital N is and what little n is, 9 and 3. Okay. Now I can say things like compute the standard error. That's standard error. I'll just do it directly. Square root of, I put in the finite population direction, n minus n over n times the variance, right? I didn't store the variance, so divide by n. And there's the standard error. And then I can at any time say mean plus 2 standard errors, or mean minus 2 standard errors. And that's my confidence interval. Okay, that's probably the most straightforward way to do it. Here's another way. If I actually want to bother to type in the whole population, I can do this. In fact, in this case, I can kind of just steal it. Oh, wait. There we go. There. Here's my population. Okay. It turns out I can take a sample of it. Oh, I'll call it new data. How's that? I can take a sample of it with the sample command also. I just put in the population. I said I want 3 sampled from it without replacement. And here's the values it took. I guess it took this one, and this one. Okay. And then the same thing. I can just repeat all those calculations. and so on. All right. Is there another way to take this? Yeah, there's another way. If you have the population in already, like there, I can kind of use the sample command that I used way up here. But I'm going to store the values of the sample. By the way, any of these work. So any of these methods and any other one you think of is going to work. I'm just giving several different examples to get the same sort of thing. What this will do is it samples the numbers 1 through 9, takes 3 of them, and just stores the values. Now, it's not going to, I'll show you what it stores. It says it's storing, it wants the 2nd, 5th, and 8th thing out of my population. Now I can make my sample this way. I take the population, and then I say, I only want the 2nd, 5th, and 8th. But luckily, the 2nd, 5th, and 8th are inside sample index. So I'm saying population, here you go, take the values. Oh, I think I can just do that, sample index. Yeah, and I'm just, this took the, it's taking the 2nd, the 5th, and the 8th thing out of the population. Let's see what it says. There, I guess those are 15, 6, and 3. Yep, and then I can do all my calculations again on these. So pick whatever method you want. any of them work. That'll be great. By the way, another way of getting data in, like a population, is to use the scan. Scan command is really nice. Scan command just lets you type the values in with spaces between them and in any order you want. So 12, 15, 10, 5, 6. And you can paste data in too. 22, 12, 3. And then what's the last one? 5. And you just hit return and then it saves those. So there it is again. All right, so that's enough. At this point, I will sign off. When I do that, it's going to say, if you hit change, is saved, by the way. Next time I sign on, I can use the up key and retrieve all the formulas I just used, lines of code. And it will save all the variables that I saved. I'll still have access to them. If I don't want that, I hit don't save. So why not? I'll hit save. And that's it.